Hey there, good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, January 17th. I'm meteorologist Alexis Clemens. We've got snow on the ground. A lot of us do here this morning. So we wanted to hop into our weather lab here at NBC Connecticut to kind of update you on what we're seeing right now, what the trends are looking like for tomorrow, because bottom line is it looks like a very snowy weekend out there before a cool down on Tuesday. There will be some dry time, and I'm going to break down the forecast as best as I can, but it really does differ depending on where you are across the state. So ask your questions for your towns, give us reports for your towns as well, and we will I'll do my best to answer it and take you through this weekend, because it's quite literally giving me a headache forecasting all of this here, but things are starting to come together as we go through this morning. So let's go ahead. We're starting with a look here in Litchfield this morning. So this is at 10:21 in the morning here on the 17th of January, a Saturday, and it's still snowing out there. We had a little break in the snow, but we did see some snow showers earlier. That's what's coating the ground right now. I think we've seen some snowfall reports up to about 1.5 inches so far, but of course, still snowing out there. It's very light, but it'll accumulate and it'll continue to do so as we go through the rest of Saturday. I think it's a pretty snowy day out there for a lot of the region, unless you're over in like Mystic in New London. I just had a kick showing these this morning, because we are really, it's a completely different scenario if you head over towards the southeastern part of the state. Mystic, New London, not seeing really much of anything in terms of precipitation today. That'll likely change as we head into the afternoon, but just showing you a current look at the radar now. This is the bigger look at the system here. And we're just monitoring a nice wave of snowfall across a lot of the state, except for areas further east. But you will notice over towards like Groton, and I'll go ahead and zoom in on that as well. But you'll notice areas over towards like Norwich, Groton. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that specific area there. Got some rain mixing in. That's because temperatures are near 40 degrees there. And that's also another reason why those snowfall totals are going to be a little bit smaller to the southeastern part of the state. But zooming out again to show you the big picture, nice little moderate light snow totals for us here. So we are taking a look at some of the photo or some of the comments here. And what will the total be for Seymour for tomorrow? We're going to take a look at that. And what we're just kind of watching. We've got our weather lab now, so this is just another way for us to meet you on all the platforms that you're at and show you what's happening in the weather. So you can ask any questions that you would like to know, and we'll answer them to the best of our abilities now that we have this tool. So we've got some lower visibility in certain areas here. Temperatures are in the 30s. I also wanted to point out one of the reasons why, and I'll show you that snowfall map here in just a second, but one of the reasons why totals are going to be potentially a little bit higher northwest compared to southeast is because of this temperature disparity. That usually the cooler temperatures are that can allow for a fluffier snow that can accumulate just a little bit higher amounts than wetter snow. And we're kind of expecting that wetter snow where it's 33 degrees, 32 degrees, 34. Over in Stonington where it's 41, kind of hard for snow to fall at all. And that's where we're kind of seeing that wetter rain there. Somebody says it's snowing in South Windsor, but I don't see anything. Must be dry air. Also, that's actually a great question there that I can answer for you. On our satellite and radar, sometimes you'll see blue across the entire area, but it's not actually snowing when you look outside. And that's where it's a little bit tougher, because radar shows what's happening thousands of feet above our head. So sometimes, yeah, you're right. It's not entirely making it to the ground, that drier air there. And you can kind of see that like that lighter blue that kind of stretches through. And that would be over in South Windsor as well. Here, let me grab my little my pointer here. But you kind of see that lighter blue there. That would just kind of signify some drier air, or at least lighter snow that's not completely making it to the ground. But that darker blue, that would signal that it is. And you can see that kind of over towards like Litchfield as well. And that's where we were seeing that live look of snow. Let's see. So people are asking about Seymour. We're asking about Litchfield County. So we've got this snow that's happening across the state right now. We've already seen about an inch and a half from it, and we can see an additional inch and a half as we go through the day. That's kind of what we're watching here. We did see some heavier snow earlier this morning. I don't really think that is the biggest concern as we go through your Saturday, the rest of your Saturday, that is. And then, hey, we're not done with snow just yet. Sunday on the way, and we're going to track a little bit of snow. Somebody's saying, I just got a notification on my phone that an alert is starting. Is there sleet in the forecast? We're not really tracking sleet today unless you're further southeast over towards like New London County. We might have a little bit of sleet making its way through the area here. Otherwise, we're getting a lot of questions. I love to see that. So yeah, sleet not really going to be the biggest factor for the forecast here. It's really just snow and then mixing with rain. Tomorrow, though, might be a different scenario. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and take you to our snowfall, just kind of mapping this out for you as we show that future satellite and radar again. Getting a lot of questions. So we really appreciate all of this because this is an interesting setup. And like I said, it's kind of providing a little bit of a headache with exactly tracking what we're seeing here. But we'll kind of see the snow spread across the region, and that darker blue or purple, whatever you want to call it, that you see there, that just is showing that it's a good chance for snow as we go through the rest of the day. You'll notice though, as we progress through the hours, more of a rain snow mix the further southeast that you go. I think that stays southeast of really I-91 there. The rest of us just seeing snow from this system, and then that moves on out of here. But you'll notice we've got this snow through about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then here comes dry time before another system here. This is going to be another one that we track here. And somebody's asking, I thought we weren't getting snow tomorrow. What changed? And that is a great question there. This is, I'm going to be quite frank with you, and because we have the ability to do so on these platforms here. With Sunday's system, that is quite the headache, just because it's a coastal system. And with those systems, it's a matter of a difference of 10 miles changing in the track completely changes our forecast. So it goes back and forth. If I showed you model runs of the last week or so, they would show completely different things every single time. And that's just extremely tough as we go through as we've gone through this week. So I apologize for the back and forth, because that's on us. That really is. We shouldn't be showing you every single model run, because that's not what good meteorologists do. We should show you just kind of as things are coming together, how these what the best chance for that snow is. I'm getting some comments and some great things about my glasses, so I appreciate it. I have an actual headache, so that is why I'm using these glasses. But when it comes to this system here, it's really tough, because especially a holiday weekend, everybody wants to know, what is it going to do? What is the snow? What's going to happen here? And several days out, it is really hard to tell, especially with these systems. But basically, long story short, this system that was expected to move a little bit further out to sea has now come a little bit closer to us. That provides us a snow chance for tomorrow. I do think that we start Sunday on the drier side, but pretty quickly by the mid-morning hours, we see this snow spreading across the region. The big question, though, still with tomorrow is how far north does that rain-snow line move? Because you'll notice there, we've got some snow. And you'll notice that rain snow line kind of over the southeastern part of the state. But then potentially later on in the day tomorrow, by the evening hours, that could produce maybe some heavier snow at times. So it's still kind of a headache here, but it does look like the bullseye of this system for tomorrow does want to stay to our southeast, kind of in Rhode Island. So if you're not seeing any snow today, you have another chance for tomorrow. So kind of just on and off snow. Somebody's asking about Waterbury. We'll talk about that as well. Talking about Plymouth, Seymour. We'll dive into that forecast here as well, as I kind of take a look at what exactly we're looking at here. I'm just kind of showing the big picture as we monitor that snow chance. And of course, send us your totals as well. I think I saw Winstead, somebody sent in the email to share it at nbcconnecticut.com about 2.5 inches in Winstead. I'm just making sure we don't have any updates to the forecast that I have missed so far with we talk with the National Weather Service as well. They give us kind of an update on everything, but I would assume that we'll have a lot more to know about this system here in the next couple of days. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling a lot. I am a little tired. I have been awake since 2 a.m., but I'm here to answer these questions to the best of my ability. And we're also going to show you just a look at what's kind of happened with this system. So I'm going to show you what's going on with some of the graphics or some of the models that we have been seeing here. So this is a system that kind of forms over the coast here, the southeast coast. Actually, this is the same system that's going to provide a little bit of snow in like the panhandle of Florida and Georgia over the next over tomorrow. So this is an interesting system. It's taking its time loading, but we're going to grab that for you here. While it's loading, though, I'll answer some of these questions. So for Waterbury, for today, I would say an additional inch, maybe 1.5 inches additional for snow today. It's kind of a lighter snow expected through the rest of the day, but it's kind of a consistent one as we go through the day. Let's also take a look at Plymouth, kind of the same thing there, an additional inch, 1.5 inches there. Seymour, as we go towards tomorrow, likely going to be a couple of inches. Basically, the bottom line here is that it genuinely is going to snow pretty consistently, but on and off through Saturday and Sunday. Everybody wakes up to snow by Monday morning. The really only dry time that we're seeing here is about 6 p.m. tonight to 6 a.m. tomorrow. So tonight looks dry in between our next two systems here. Let's go ahead and see. Somebody's saying in Torrington, 3 inches of snow. Thank you so much for that report. We really appreciate that. And that makes sense as we were kind of expecting those higher totals. All right, this thing is not loading. Let's see if that'll work here. Somebody's asking about Hamden for today. I would say an additional maybe inch in Hamden, but I would say lower totals there. I'm going to get rid of this little guy because we don't need that anymore. And that as well. I'm just going to kind of show you what's going on across the region here. So let me just fixing this on the fly because that's what we do. I just wanted to show you what's kind of going on with this next system. So, sorry. And let's see if we have any other questions, of course, feel free to ask them. And again, I'll answer them the best I can. But I just wanted to kind of show you what's happening with this system on a bigger scale. So we've got this snow that's, of course, coating a lot of the state right now. But look at what happens. Pay attention to like Georgia and Florida as we step into tomorrow morning. There's some snow. They're already all the way down to like the Gulf Coast. There was that like Gulf Shores, Alabama, into Florida, and some snow through parts of Georgia there, like Macon, Augusta. I mean, this is an interesting system to say the least, and it puts itself together and makes its way up towards our region by tomorrow. I would say as early, again, as mid-morning hours. It's going to be on and off snow. We're just in this more active weather pattern here as we go through the next. So somebody says March 1st can't come soon enough for winter to be gone. I know. But you know what? The last 10 days have been rather mild. So we had to return to winter at some point. Somebody's asking, is it going to be a snowy February? We'll see. We will see. Right now, I'm just kind of watching this active end to at least second half of January at this point. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really looked that much at February just because this system is kind of this weekend is kind of giving us a little bit of a headache. But the bottom line is that it's kind of this on and off snow. So here's a look at the first wave of the system. That's what we're seeing right now. Dry briefly, and then here comes some more snow as we go through Sunday. So I do still expect, and you can see kind of the highest snow totals. And I'm going to show those snow totals for Sunday here again very soon. But Sunday, again, tracking some snow, dry time really from about 6 p.m. today to 6 a.m. tomorrow, then just that on and off snow as we go through tomorrow. Somebody's asking for Middlesex County. A good question here. So let me show you the snow totals, and I'm going to break down for you exactly what we're seeing here. I think this will answer a lot of questions for a lot of folks. So, well, hang on. I'm sorry, grabbing that list or all of that information for you. I did want to show you some of the snow totals that we've seen so far. And again, send in your reports as well. Sorry, our computer is just taking forever. Here it is. About 1.5 in West Hartford and Woodbury. Like we said, somebody just reported 3 inches in Torrington, 2.5 in Winstead so far. Here's kind of what we're looking at for today. So this is through about 4, 5, 6 o'clock this evening. Higher totals in northwestern Connecticut here. That lighter snow should add just a little bit more to those totals. 1 to 2 inches. I think this includes Hartford, maybe Middletown, or Middletown's going to be right on the line there, and then a coating to 1 inch for much of the rest of the state. I think eastern and really southeastern Connecticut kind of misses on this system, but a dusting can't be ruled out in those areas. So somebody's asking for Fairfield County. Again, I'm thinking about 1 inch for most of Fairfield County through today. Let's take a look at tomorrow, though. Tomorrow is interesting. I do still think, so this is the map that I made this morning, just based on guidance from our model runs from the National Weather Service. I do still think the highest potential for totals for plowable snow will be the further east that you go. Rhode Island kind of gets the bullseye of this system. But again, the question that we still have to answer for tomorrow is, does rain mix in there at the southeastern coast? Because that would impact totals as well. But I think the best thing to describe with this snow map here is that the highest potential for those higher amounts of snow going to be further to the east. We might have to up these totals a little bit. Right now, I think they're pretty solid where they are. 2 to 4 inches kind of seems to be the biggest thing here. But again, with these coastal lows, depending on how close we can get to that rain snow line, we can see kind of bursts of heavier snow at times. That could also impact totals. But I think this again just shows the best chance for higher totals the further east, southeast that you go. This is for tomorrow specifically, 1 inch or 2, maybe up to 3 in that darker blue, and then lesser totals the further west and northwest that you go. And again, a lot of people have been asking about, I was at a school visit yesterday in New Britain. They were asking about snow days. And I'm like, well, kids, this is a weekend, a holiday weekend at that. Thinking this will be all cleared by Monday morning, and even still Monday morning, I think a lot of places are off because of the holiday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday. So back to school on Tuesday, but I do expect much cooler temperatures by Tuesday. So maybe a delayed start on Tuesday just because of that cold. We're going to talk about that in just a second as well. Good morning to everybody that is joining us here. We've got quite an interesting setup this weekend. Bottom line, though, is that basically on and off snow today and tomorrow. Everybody should see at least a little bit of snow on the ground for Monday. And I'm looking ahead to Monday. And Monday's going to be a great day to get outside and enjoy the snow, the slopes, sledding, whatever it might be, snowmen. It's going to be great. Somebody's asking, so the map that's on our screen right now, this is on top of what we get today, right? Correct. I do want to show you a look at one specific model showing what we'll be seeing across the state. Take this with a grain of salt. This is why we don't show the model runs all the time, just because it can show some interesting stuff. So again, take this map with a grain of salt. This is just what one prediction is here. So you can see that snow. I actually quite agree with this one here as we go through the day, showing lesser totals further southeast. This is one specific model through today. So 2 to 4 inches the further northwest that you go. I actually very much agree with this. I would up the total a little bit there in Hartford and Meriden. And other than that, I do agree with this map here. Let's see what it says for Sunday. I haven't gotten a chance to look at this specific model here. So again, taking it with a grain of salt. This one specifically is mixing in a little bit more rain at the shore, but again, by Monday morning, showing that snow progresses all across the state. Somebody says, just finished shoveling, a little bit heavy. Yeah, that snow is wet because of temperatures being at or really close to freezing. That's going to lead to a wetter snow. We call that heart attack snow, just because shoveling it's a workout. It's heavy. It's several pounds of snow there. So make sure you're being safe, taking care of yourself. Rock salt does work very well though with wetter snow. So it's something to keep an eye on there. So that's one specific model. I also wanted to show you this one that I showed on air this morning. So again, once all is said and done, thinking a couple, I don't, that 8 inches and more and 7 inches in Colebrook, I don't see that happening. But potentially some areas, once all is said and done by Sunday night, maybe near a half a foot of snow. Again, certain towns, that's once everything is done with the 2 systems that happen by Sunday night. But this is another snowfall potential here. Only showing a couple of inches across the region. So again, there's quite a disparity still across the area. So somebody's asking, is it a 3-day event? I would say a 2-day event here, Saturday and Sunday. Monday looks great, honestly, at least for mid-January standards. I'm thinking of like sledding, skiing, snowboarding, making snowmen, shoveling. Monday looks great. All of this is done by Sunday night. Somebody is saying the AI model is the best. That's actually something new that we're noticing in meteorology. We're watching. So again, we could break that down a little bit later on as well. But weather models, we've been using this for years now, but we're starting to see those AI weather models are now coming into play, and those are doing all right. We're watching them though. They're kind of going back and forth. We're watching it closely. I do also want to point out, though, with the ice melt, we did a story on this yesterday on NBC Connecticut, but ice melt does not work at temperatures below 15 degrees. That's not a problem this weekend until we head towards like Monday morning, especially Tuesday morning, getting really chilly there. So I would definitely, if you can, shovel tomorrow. By Monday afternoon should be fine. But that's the latest I would keep it until Monday afternoon. I would definitely get it done because it's going to get really chilly as we head towards Tuesday morning. I do want to actually show you that, first of all, hey, Pats fans, some cool news here. Looks like a snow game for tomorrow, 3 p.m. against the Texans. Looks really, really interesting out there. So the Pats game likely going to see some snow accumulating. So another thing to keep in mind if you're heading up to Foxborough for the game, just make sure you're staying safe out there. But I mean, there's nothing like a snow game. It's so fun to watch. I'm sure it's so fun to be in as well, even if it's a little chilly. It's that atmosphere that's really great, and it's what makes the playoffs so much fun. And we're going to have a classic one, it looks like, as we go through tomorrow. I wanted to point out, obviously this isn't in our region, but hey, this is for fun because it's still divisional weekend. Sunday night football here on NBC tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. is in Chicago. That's the Bears versus Rams. And that's going to be a really chilly game there, feeling like almost 0 degrees for that game. So going to be interesting. And one of the reasons why I'm pointing that out, even though that's not in our region, it's what's on the way. Some really, really cold air is on the way. I'm giving you the heads up right now for Monday night into Tuesday morning. We're talking wind chills at or even below 0 degrees. And you can even see that here. So this is Tuesday morning. I could see a couple of areas dipping below 0 for a wind chill. It feels like temperatures there. There you go. Somebody says, go Texans. Oh, that's a little scary to say in this part of the country. I'll tell you right now, I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow. Pats and Texans going to be a good game. I'm looking forward to the Bills and Broncos today. That looks like a really fun game. I mean, Seahawks and Niners. And then, of course, the 2 games that we've got tomorrow. Going to be a great weekend to stay inside and watch some football. That's what I'm looking forward to doing. But if you're out and about, just make sure you're staying safe out there. We've really appreciated all of these questions. I would say, again, just send in your reports as they come in, because unfortunately we can't be across the entire state. So that's why we really do rely on your reports to know exactly what's happening in the area. Again, as I take you back to our radar, let me head back to that, because as we talked about, radar is several thousand feet above our heads. So sometimes it's not currently depicting what we're seeing on the ground. That's really important to see all of your reports here in Connecticut. So this is a current look at your radar. I'm going to hop off of the live stream here in just a little bit, but I'll do my best to answer as many questions as I can. If you email me, if you send these messages to us on social media, I'll do my best to answer them. But I'm going to keep just kind of a radar loop happening on our live stream here on YouTube and Facebook, just so you can see through the day. Anthony Carpino will be in later on this evening to track out the rest. We'll have the latest model data in then as well. But at the bottom line here is I expect dry time from about 6 p.m. tonight to 6 a.m. tomorrow. So through tonight, we're dry, a nice little 12-hour period here. And then we're tracking more snow on and off through tomorrow. Still kind of up in the air on those totals, but I would say your best chance for heavier totals are going to be along and south and southeast of 84. So kind of closer to New London County, Middlesex County, those higher totals for tomorrow. Then we can take a breath on Monday, enjoy the nice winter scene before that cooler air returns on Tuesday. So somebody will ask one more question. What time do I think this will end today? I expect that snow to end between about 3 and 6 p.m. Later on this afternoon and evening. So kind of an all-day event here with this light snow, ending by about 3 to 6 p.m. And then it starts up again by, I would say, 7 to 10 a.m. tomorrow. And it will then progress through Sunday night, ending by midnight tomorrow. So 2 rounds of this snow here. Somebody also says, go Huskies today against Georgetown and men's basketball. Looking forward to that as well. I love watching sports, especially when the snow's coming down this time of year. It is rather nice there. So we're rooting on all of our local teams. And of course, we're watching all of this snow. But again, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, this is just a really great tool that we have. Somebody's asking about next Sunday's weather. I'll tell you right now, I was looking at that earlier. There's not a lot of consensus on exactly what's happening. So right now I put a chance for snow for next Sunday. We'll watch that. It's still a little too far out to tell you about timing. It doesn't look huge at this point, but I do think that things are going to cool down even more behind next Sunday's system. So all in all, the takeaway here, snow today, dry tonight, snow again tomorrow. Everybody should see snow on the ground by Sunday night. Makes for a great Monday to enjoy the holiday. Sledding, skiing, snowboarding, make those plans right now. Looks great on the slopes. Tuesday gets cold, and then we'll track maybe another system by Thursday and into Sunday. And then it gets even colder behind that. That's a lot of gibberish. And that's why we will keep you updated every single day. We all know weather changes, and we do our best to keep you as updated as possible on those changes to make sure that you can plan your day and your weekends accordingly. So again, thank you so much. We hope you have a great rest of your Saturday. We will have more updates as we go through the rest of the weekend. And of course, send in your reports as well, because we really, really appreciate those. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Stay safe with the snow, but enjoy it as well. This is what makes New England great this time of year. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you later.